Hey everybody, here today to do a short demo on a Diezel Herbert biasing the amp with the external bias points. A few things you're going to need is a couple small screwdriver, one to pull the fuse and one for the bias adjustment, and a meter. I'm using a fluke meter. Needs to be set at DC current, the one with the dashed lines with the A. And then also, if you have multiple settings for the leads, make sure the black's on the common, and most likely the red will be on the one that says 300 milliamps. The leads that I'm using, I have a couple leads that have the quick disconnect, and I've bought some quick disconnect banana type leads that plug in, make it really easy. So what we have here is 6 power tubes and 3 sets of bias points and 3 fuses. Each bias point is for a pair of tubes. Diezel recommends, I think on their webpage, 60 milliamps. On the amp here it says 65 milliamps. I normally shoot for somewhere in between there. So what you're going to do is, power's off right now. I do have a speaker load on the amp, which is a must. As you can see here, I have an 8 ohm speaker cab on it. I'm going to plug the black lead into the common point for the bias. And then we're just going to start off with doing the 1 and 6 power tube, which is this first point here. Let's plug that in there, and you need to pull the fuse for that set. So fuse is pulled, our leads are hooked up, we got a speaker load on the amp, our meter's on and ready, and I have the master volumes and the channel volumes turned all the way down on the amp. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the amp on. Give it a few seconds to warm the power tubes up, and then we'll turn it off standby and see what the current is and see if we need to adjust it. Right now there should be nothing on your meter. As you can see, it still says 0. And remember, this is just for, we're doing them in pairs, 3 pairs, and this is the one of 3. Always make sure to, before you do each one, just make sure everything is connected right before you do start turning the power on. Don't get in a hurry, take your time. You don't want nothing to happen because of a silly mistake. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and kick it off standby here, and we'll see what we have. So like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I think on the tech corner on the Diezel website it says 60 milliamps for EL34s. The tag on the back of the amp says 65. I normally shoot around 62. Always seems to be a good point for EL34s with this amp. So we really don't need to adjust this, but I'm just going to show you how it does work if you need to. Take your small tip standard screwdriver and insert it in here, and just kind of turn it a little bit, and you'll feel it drop into the screw. And then, say if we wanted to raise this a little bit, we'd turn it clockwise, and if we wanted to lower it, we'd go counterclockwise. So a little too far. It's really doesn't take much to change it at all. So alright, leave it right there. Alright guys, well that's basically it. Real simple, really easy. Just take your time and make sure you get everything hooked up. Now if I was going to go on and do the next one, I would shut the amp back off, put it on standby, let it cool down for a few minutes, turn the power off, and then I would hook this fuse back in, remove the fuse for 2 and 5, and then move my lead, my red lead, over to the next bias point, and then so on for the third set. Make sure you put the fuse back in the other one, pull the fuse for the next, and move the lead over. And that's basically it. Alright, thanks.